My heart abandoned their silence to scream your name instead. Loving you is a rebellion. My soul was born to fight. They never touched the depths you drown me in. You are the chaos that shatters my quiet past. What I feel for you is a sacred madness. They were the shadow before dawn. You are the first light. Loving you is a womb that supports salvation. You are the fire burning every lie they left behind. The past looks cheap beneath your fierce gaze. They were the noise I learned to ignore. I traded their echoes for your thunder. What I feel for you is a secret too loud to hide. They were a ghost I let go. You are my heartbeat. Loving you is the only truth I trust. You make the past bleed with envy. They were the before. You are my forever. My ex was a placeholder. You are my whole story. What I feel for you steals the breath from every old memory. You are the storm I never knew I craved. They never saw me. Wildfire breaking through cold ashes. You make my past look like a goddamn joke. What I feel for you shakes the foundation of my soul. They were the noise. You are my sacred silence. I was lost until your love found me. You rewrite every lie I believed about love. Loving you is a raw confession I scream in silence. They were the question marks. You are the answer. What I feel for you burns with cosmic truth. You make the past look like a cheap trick. They were a shadow fading in your light. Loving you feels like breaking every cage I built. You are the wild pulse under my skin. The past was a whisper. You are the scream. They never held my soul. You carry like a flame. What I feel for you is a sacred chaos. You make old wounds bleed with fierce love. Loving you is a slow, dangerous salvation. They were a placeholder. You are the meaning. You are the storm I wait for every night. My heart broke only to find you whole. What I feel for you makes all past love drown. They were the silence before my song. Loving you is a cosmic rebellion burning inside me. You are the truth I never dared to speak. The past crumbles beneath your fierce light. They never touch the fire you ignite. What I feel for you is raw and endless. You make the ghosts of my past scream in jealousy. Loving you is the only war worth fighting. They were shadows fading. You are my dawn. You rewrite every broken chapter I once lived. What I feel for you is a thunderstorm in my veins. You make my past look like a goddamn lie. Loving you is a confession too loud to hide. They never held me close. You are my sanctuary. You are the flame burning every faded memory. The past is dust beneath your fire. What I feel for you breaks every chain of old love. Loving you is the wildest truth I own. They are not the noise. I choose your shared silence. You are the storm that drowns my ghosts. My heart beats fierce because of you. What I feel for you makes every old scar sing. They were a placeholder. You are my forever. Loving you is the sacred chaos I crave. You make the past look like a cheap story. They never understood. You hold my soul's deepest truth. What I feel for you is an endless wildfire. You are the revolution my heart demanded. Loving you burns the past to ash. They were shadows. You are my light. My soul screams your name in silence. What I feel for you breaks every old promise. You make my past look like a joke. Loving you is the confession I own. They were a ghost fading. You are my pulse. You are the fire rewriting my story. The past crumbles beneath your fierce love. What I feel for you is raw, infinite, and real. Loving you is the war my heart chose. They were silence. I love your scream. You make old wounds bleed sacred fire. My heart is yours. No placeholder allowed. What I feel for you shakes my entire soul. Warned me about? They were the noise I left behind. You are the fire I breathe. The past looks cheap next to your fierce love. What I feel for you is endless and wild. Loving you is the only war I fight with joy. They were shadows fading. You are my dawn. You rewrite every lie I ever believed. My soul breaks open because of you. What I feel for you is a sacred chaos. Loving you burns every old scar to ash. They were ghosts. You are my truth. You make the past look like a goddamn joke. My heart screams your name in silence. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. My love for you rips through every dull memory. They were shadows fading while you became my sun. Loving you is a scream buried in silence. You are the wildfire that burns my past to dust. The past feels cheap. Your love is priceless pain. What I feel for you breaks all the rules I knew. They were shadows, echo. You are my roaring truth. Loving you is the only chaos I crave. You make my past look like a goddamn joke. My heart was lost until your fire found me. What I feel for you is a secret too raw to hide. They were ghosts I outgrew. You are my forever. Loving you is a rebellion. My soul won't surrender. You rewrite every lie my heart once believed. The past is ashes beneath your fierce flame. What I feel for you shakes the earth beneath me. They were empty noise. You are my sacred sound. Loving you burns the past until it bleeds. You are the storm I waited my whole life for. My ex was a placeholder. You are the revolution. What I feel for you is raw, fierce, and endless. You make old wounds bleed with love's fire. Loving you is a confession shouted in silence. They never held my soul. You carry it like a flame. You are the fire rewriting my story. The past crumbles beneath your sacred light. What I feel for you is wild and infinite. Loving you breaks every chain of old love. They were silence. You are my scream. You make my past look like a cheap trick. What? They were a ghost fading. You are my pulse. Loving you is a sacred chaos I embrace. You rewrite every broken chapter I once lived. The past was a whisper. You I feel for you shakes my entire soul. They never understood. You hold my deepest truth. Loving you is the loudest confession I own. You are the revolution. My heart demanded. My ex was a placeholder. You are my whole story. What I feel for you is raw, infinite, and real. Loving you burns every old scar to ash. They were shadows. You are my light. You make the past look like a goddamn joke. My soul screams your name in silence. What I feel for you breaks every old promise. Loving you is the only war worth fighting. They were the noise. You are my sacred silence. You are the storm that drowns my ghosts. What I feel for you makes every old scar sing. They were a placeholder. You are my forever. Loving you is a sacred chaos I crave. You made the past look like a cheap story. They never understood. You hold my soul's deepest truth. What I feel for you is an endless wildfire. You are the revolution my heart demanded. Loving you burns the past to ash. They were shadows. You are my light. My soul screams your name in silence. What I feel for you breaks every old promise. You make my past look like a joke. Are my pulse. You are the fire rewriting my story. The past crumbles beneath your fierce love. What I feel for you is raw, infinite, and real. Loving you is the war my heart chose. They were silence. I live your scream. You make old wounds bleed sacred fire. My heart is yours, no placeholder allowed. What I feel for you shakes my entire soul. Loving you is the truth no one warned me about. They were the noise I left behind. You are the fire I breathe. The past looks cheap next to your fierce love. What I feel for you is endless and wild. Loving you is the only war I fight with joy. They were shadows fading. You are my dawn. You rewrite every lie I ever believed. My soul breaks open because of you. What I feel for you is a sacred chaos. Loving you burns every old scar to ash. They were ghosts. You are my truth. You make the past look like a goddamn joke. My heart screams your name in silence. My dear, what I feel for you dwarfs the ghosts I once loved. Loving you rewrites my past. My ex was just a faded sketch. You turned my quiet pain into a roaring wildfire. Compared to you, there were shadows I tolerated. My heart traded their hollow promises for your fierce truth. You're the storm after a lifetime of silence. The past feels cheap now, an ugly draft of what I found. Loving you feels like shattering a cheap mirror, no going back. They were a sentence I skipped. You are the whole book. My ex was a lesson. You are my unlearned prayer. The space they left was empty noise. You filled it with thunder. My feelings for you erase their existence like a whiteout. What I feel for you makes the past lay dull. They were a pause, an unsaid nothing before my real story. Loving you is the violent truth. My heart finally schemed. They were the before. You are the awakening. Every word for them tastes like ash now. I was a ghost with them, alive with you. You're the flame that burns their memory to cinders. The echo of my ex fades beneath your heartbeat's thunder. What I have for you is not love. It's a revolution. Their place in my life, a footnote erased by your presence. Loving you feels like breaking every silence I once held. They were a storm I survived. You are the sky I breathe. You aren't just replace. You redefine what love can be. I used to think I loved, and I now you. They were a chapter I regret reading. You're the story I live. Loving you is my loudest act of rebellion. You shattered the dull cage my heart was trapped in. They were a shadow cast by my loneliness. You are the sun, my ex, a placeholder in a story I didn't want. What I feel for you is a wildfire that burns past ghosts. You're the fierce truth that drowns every old lie. The past was static. You are the pulse. They were the silence. You are the scream I cherish. My heart doesn't just beat for you. It breaks open. What I feel for you makes old wounds look like paper cuts. They were a pause. You're the unending verse. I bury them beneath the weight of your love. You make the past look like a goddamn mistake. Loving you is my soul's loudest truth. They were a hollow echo. You are my roaring roar. What I feel for you is a rebellion against all I was. My ex was a shadow in my rearview mirror. You are the sunrise. You don't just heal. You ignite every part of me. The love I have for you crushes old memories like glass. They were just practice. You are the masterpiece. Loving you feels like discovering a secret I was born to keep. My heart once settled for less. Now it demands you. What I feel for you makes the past look like a faded scar. You are the fire that consumes every dull memory. They were the ghost town. You are the home I never left. Loving you is a sacred war inside my soul. The past was a lie. Whispered softly, you are the scream. They never held me. You are the weight I am proud to carry. My love for you is the truth I never dared to speak. What I feel for you is a wild storm, breaking the calm. They were a broken promise. You are the vow I keep. Loving you is a slow-burning revolution. My ex was a placeholder in a story only. You complete. You are the fierce truth buried beneath old regrets. What I feel for you makes past love feel like a whisper. They were a lesson in absence. You are my presence. Loving you is my loudest confession. They were a faded photo. You are the vivid now. My heart trembles with the weight of you. What I feel for you breaks every chain the past made. They were a shadow of silence. You are my roaring light. Loving you feels like a secret shouted into the void. They were a placeholder. You are my forever. You make the past look like a cheap mistake. My love for you is a cosmic truth no one warned me about. What I feel for you is raw, fierce, and endless. They were an echo I stopped hearing. You are my song. Loving you is my soul's boldest prayer. You rewrite every lie my heart believed before. What I feel for you makes old wounds bleed with truth. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more.